Before you watch the rest of this video, I want you to prepare yourself, because what you're about to hear is slow, uncomfortable, and quietly heartbreaking. Many people know Magic Johnson as a legend, a champion, a survivor. But almost nobody knows what has quietly happened behind closed doors now that he is 66 years old. Today, we're not showing glamour, trophies, or cheering crowds. We're showing silence. And sometimes, silence hurts the most. If you walk into Magic Johnson's morning routine now, at age 66, the first thing you notice is how slow everything feels. The sound of basketballs bouncing, the cheers from packed arenas, the thundering applause, none of that exists here. Instead, you hear the faint hum of a refrigerator, the soft tapping of rain on a window, and the almost delicate sound of footsteps on wooden floors. For decades, Magic was known for speed-fast breaks, quick passes, rapid decisions. But now, the pace of his life has shifted into something much slower, almost painfully slow. Watching him move around his home early in the morning feels like watching time itself stretch out, as if even the clock hesitates before moving to the next minute. He wakes up early, not because he has somewhere urgent to be, but because his body simply refuses to stay asleep any longer. Age does that. It disrupts the rhythm that once came naturally. There are mornings when he sits on the edge of his bed for several minutes, not thinking about anything specific, just breathing. It's a detail most people would overlook, but in that stillness, there's a hint of something deeper, a quiet acknowledgement that the years have changed him in ways that no one prepared him for. He walks toward the kitchen slowly. Not dramatically, not painfully, just slowly, like a man whose knees have experienced too many hard landings and whose ankles have twisted one too many times on the court. The body remembers everything, and at 66, it remembers loudly. There are framed photographs along the hallway, Magic lifting trophies, Magic smiling with teammates, Magic standing tall in his Lakers uniform. But he doesn't stop to look at them because he's seen them so many times that each image is etched permanently into his memory. Yet today, as he passes the picture from the 1980 NBA Finals, his rookie year, he pauses just briefly, just long enough for you to wonder what he might be thinking. But he doesn't say anything aloud. Instead, he simply moves on. His kitchen counter is organized, almost too organized, like a hotel room that someone straightens every day even though no one is coming to visit. On the table sits a simple breakfast, oatmeal, a sliced apple, and a glass of water. It's not exciting. It's not glamorous. It's boring. But that's exactly what his doctor recommended. And Magic follows the doctor's orders now more than ever. He eats slowly, methodically. Each bite is almost the same.
There's no rush. There's no excitement. It feels like a man who has experienced so much intensity in his life that he has nothing left to chase. The world once demanded so much from him: games, appearances, interviews, leadership. Now, the world feels quieter, and he seems to accept that quiet. After breakfast, he steps outside. The sun is up, but its warmth takes time to reach the yard. There's a chair on the patio, and Magic sits in it almost every morning, staring at the trees as they sway gently. Sometimes he reads the newspaper. Sometimes he just sits. Today, he sits. The stillness is heavy, the kind of heavy that settles into a person after decades of fighting, pushing, surviving, and striving. His life has been full of highs so high they shook the world, and lows so deep they changed history. But the present moment, at age 66, is calm. Too calm. The kind of calm that feels unnatural for someone who lived life and fast forward. But this calm is where the emotional weight truly lies. Because behind that stillness is a truth. Your heroes age. Your legends slow down. Even the strongest icons eventually become ordinary people moving through ordinary days. And sometimes, seeing that transformation, watching someone who once carried entire franchises now carry a small cup of tea, is more heartbreaking than any tragedy. And so the morning passes, 1 minute at a time, without any iconic moments. Without any dramatic scenes. It's just Magic Johnson at 66, quiet, reflective, human. But this is only the beginning. Part 2. If the mornings are slow for Magic Johnson at 66, the afternoons are even slower. They stretch out like long corridors with doors that lead nowhere. Most people imagine that retired athletes spend their days in constant excitement, traveling, speaking, inspiring crowds. But the truth is far less glamorous, and in Magic's case, it's almost painfully normal. Round noon, he usually goes for a walk, not a workout, not a jog, not a training session, just a walk. A simple, steady walk down the quiet streets near his home. And although there are no fans crowding around him anymore, no cameras chasing him, no reporters waiting for quotes, he still walks with that familiar posture, shoulders slightly back, chest lifted, as if a lifetime of leadership still shapes the way he moves. But today, as he walks, you notice something. He pauses more frequently. He takes deeper breaths. He occasionally places a hand on his hip or lower back, not in pain, but in acknowledgement that the body he once dominated the world with is simply older now. There is a small park nearby. Magic stops there often. Sometimes he sits on the bench and watches kids shoot basketballs on the cracked court. They run, they laugh, they miss shots, they argue lightly about fouls, and Magic watches them with a subtle smile because he sees pieces of himself in them. The energy, the innocence, the love for the game. But he never approaches them. He never coaches them. He never tells them who he is. He just watches, almost like a ghost from a different era, observing a world that moved on without him. At one point, a ball rolls toward him. A boy jogs over, steps nervously, and asks, "Sir, can you pass it back?" Magic picks up the ball. He holds it for a moment, a long moment. You can almost see the memories flowing through him like old film reels. The sweat of the Showtime era, the thunder of the Forum, the lightning fast passes, the championships, the roar of Los Angeles. But then, he simply tosses the ball gently back to the kid. No fancy trick pass, no Showtime flair, just a normal throw. And the kid runs off. Most people would think nothing of it. But inside Magic, something stirs. Because once, the whole world wanted a piece of him. Now, he's just another man in a park. As he walks away, the emotional heaviness becomes clearer. Aging isn't just about the body getting weaker. It's about the world slowly forgetting what you once were. Later in the afternoon, he returns home. He sits in his living room, which is quiet except for the soft ticking of a wall clock. There's a TV remote on the table, but he doesn't turn it on. The silence feels more fitting. He picks up an old Lakers magazine. On the cover is a photo of him smiling proudly, but he doesn't open it. He sets it down. There are things he's lived through that he no longer feels like revisiting, not because they hurt, but because they remind him of a version of himself that doesn't exist anymore. Every so often, Magic receives messages from people who still admire him, fans writing about how he inspired their lives. But reading those messages at age 66 hits differently. It's not excitement. It's not pride. It's a quiet, warm ache, like remembering someone you used to be close to but lost touch with over time. The afternoon fades slowly, like a dim light bulb gradually losing brightness, and as the hours pass, you realize something powerful. Magic Johnson's life at 66 isn't tragic because of dramatic events. It's tragic because of how gently everything has faded, and the fading continues into the night. Part 3. Evenings for Magic Johnson at 66 are the quietest part of his day. Dusk settles gently around his home, turning everything a soft shade of orange. The sounds outside, cars, distant chatter, even birds grow faint, and inside, it's almost completely silent. Magic sits in his favorite chair, a slightly worn armchair position near a window. He has sat there so many times that the cushion has molded perfectly to the shape of his body. There's a lamp beside him. He turns it on, not because he wants to read or write or watch TV, but simply because the light makes the room feel less empty. He looks out the window. The sky is dimming slowly, the colors shifting from orange to purple to blue. He watches this transition every evening.
It's become a quiet ritual, something predictable in a life that used to be filled with chaos and motion. People think legends spend their evenings surrounded by crowds, celebrations, or endless excitement. But the truth is simpler, much simpler. And for Magic at 66, the simplicity carries emotional weight. He thinks about the past, but not in a dramatic way. Not in a way that brings tears or regret. More like a soft replay of moments, games, teammates, victories, the difficult years, the recovery, the fight, the perseverance. All of it passes through his mind like an old slideshow. Slow, grainy, gentle. He knows he accomplished more than most people could ever dream of. He knows he inspired millions. But now, at this stage of life, none of that feels loud anymore. The applause has faded into memories. The trophies gather dust. The jerseys hang quietly. The world still admires him, but from far away. And loneliness doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like a quiet house at sunset. Sometimes it feels like sitting alone in a room too big for one person. At night, Magic checks his phone, not for trending topics, not for interview requests, not for business alerts. He looks for messages from people he loves. A simple hi, a how are you, a family photo, anything that connects him to someone else. Because even legends need connection. He scrolls slowly. Sometimes he smiles. Sometimes he lets out a quiet sigh. Most of the time, he simply sets the phone down after a minute or two. Later, he walks down the hallway to his bedroom. The same hallway lined with photos, awards, memories of an extraordinary life. But the hallway feels longer at night. The shadows stretch. The silence amplifies everything. He sits down on the edge of his bed. The mattress sinks slightly. He rubs his hands together softly, a habit he's had for decades. Then he looks around the room, calm, dim, still. And in that stillness, one truth becomes painfully clear. When the noise of the world fades, even the greatest among us are left alone with themselves. Magic lies down. He pulls the blanket over himself. The room grows darker. The day ends quietly, maybe too quietly. And that is what happened to Magic Johnson at 66. Not a scandal, not a disaster, not a sudden tragedy, but something far more emotional. A man who once lived at the center of the world now moves through life quietly, slowly, gently, almost invisible. And sometimes that quiet reality hurts more than anything else.